Hey friend, welcome to the Intentional Mind podcast. Today on the show, we're talking about what it means to be a good wife and a good mom while you are pursuing your dreams. This is a topic that has continued to come up in my own personal coaching sessions where I'm the one being coached. I often tell my coach it's really important for me to be a good mom, to be a good wife, and to continue to pursue my dreams. And I actually believe in order for me to be a good mom and a good wife, I got to be the person that does pursue my dreams. I've been thinking about this a lot because my coach actually had me come up with definitions of what it means to be a good wife and a good mom, because I'm often saying that. And she's like, well, what does it actually look like then to be a good mom, to be a good wife? The good mom or the good wife that you have envisioned in your mind, how does she show up? What is she doing with her time? So I've gotten some clarity in this space, and it's really helped me. And this is why, again, I want to have this episode and have this conversation with you virtually or wherever you're listening to this on the phone, because I want you to start thinking about that for yourself. Like, what actually does that look like? And how can you start being that person more if you're like me and you aspire to be the good mom, to be the good wife, and continue to pursue your dreams? How can you show up more as that in your life? And what areas do you need to shift some things around so that you can, again, live up to that vision that you have in your mind when it comes to being the good wife, being the good mom, pursuing your dreams? Okay, so with my definitions, I realize that it really all comes back to the energy that I bring in to a space, into my home in particular. That's what it comes back to for me. I think about a good wife. If I just envisioned that in my mind, I would see someone who is a joy to be around. I just picture someone smiling, someone who is intentional in her home environment, intentional about where she puts things, like it's not chaos. She is intentional about creating an environment of peace. I think about that for my husband. Like I see that as a role for me. It's like when, work and stuff and things can be stressful. It is on all of us. We have those different things in our life that are causing stress. And I love that I can go to my husband and it's like he brings peace into my life. And I want to be that person for him. So when he comes home, I don't want to be the person that's constantly nagging him and doing stuff like that. I want to be the person that's intentional about setting up the environment so that he feels peace. Because I know when he feels peace or when he feels joy, that's contagious. I feel that. My son feels that. So what can I do to help influence that kind of energy where I'm at? And I think it always comes back to the little things. So some of the things I'm doing to be a good wife are things like where I really am intentional about keeping the space clean, whether it's if I can't do it, then who can help me make that happen? And where can I delegate things so that we all feel better in our space? Because let's be real, when stuff is chaotic and cluttered, we feel stress from that. And research shows that our energy isn't the best. So what can I do with that? So I have some intentional systems around how I'm keeping up with the home, days that I'm specifically doing things, routines. The other thing is I think about even the sense, like bring in all your senses here. Like I think about, how it smells. Like I'm the person that in the morning before my husband comes down, I'm lighting a candle, I'm turning on an oil infuser, I'm changing the lighting. Like when he's coming home from work, I'm thinking about those things. They're tiny things that I could do, but I really do believe they make a big difference in how you feel. I'm the person opening the windows, letting the sunshine in. Simple things, picking up the toys so that it doesn't look as crazy and chaotic. And that's also for my son too, so he can see that environment. I really do feel like that is part of my role of being a good wife and a good mom. Other people might have a different definition. And the thing I want for you too is start thinking about what does that look like for you? Because I'm thinking about the things that affect someone's energy, that causes them to feel joy or peace. And what can I do to help set up an environment that, again, will cause someone to feel those good feelings more often? So that's what came up in my mind. I also thought about obviously my own energy, like taking care of myself and how essential that is because I've actually tracked in my journal. I've noticed the days where I actually exercise first or I write in my journal first before taking care of everything else. I have better energy and I'm a way better wife and a way better mom because I'm less stressed out. I'm actually less resentful. I actually find that when I don't take care of myself and my own things, I am more resentful. It's like when my husband wants me to do something, I'm like so mad at him about it because I didn't take care of my own thing. So it's like recognizing that I need to prioritize that. So just simple things that you can do. It really comes back to these simple things. Like lately, what I've been doing before my son wakes up in the morning, I will sit, and I know everyone's in different seasons of life. Like in his newborn stage, I wouldn't have been able to do this. But now that he is 8 months old now, he's doing better with his sleeping. So literally before he gets up, I will sit in the bed. I can hear him. He'll get up and I will put some toys in his crib. And I have a red light that I turn on and he has his bottle. So he just hanging out in there. I am intentional about setting up what I need to give myself the time that I need. And I know, again, we're all in different seasons, but what do you need to set up and plan for to give yourself the time that you need for yourself? So for me, after doing that, it's just a quick thing. It's all set up. And I go back to the bed and I will spend time journaling. I do a meditation. I read a devotional. It takes me like 15 minutes, I think. Sometimes 30 minutes. I'll do it. Just depends on the day. And then I will get up and I feel so good that I took care of myself. And, I'm a huge advocate of even just 15 minutes a day for yourself, like 5 minutes of journaling, 5 minutes of movement, 5 minutes of some kind of mindfulness or prayer, like that will shift your energy galore. And when I used to travel a lot, I would even make that a practice when I was gone in a different environment. So it's like simple things that you can do. And I know us as moms and, wives and trying to pursue our dreams, it can be so chaotic. It can be so busy, but you got to do this for your energy. You have to prioritize that time for yourself. And some of you all are already doing this. You're waking up early before everybody else gets up so you can work on your thing. Like today, we're about to fly out to Mexico. I woke up at 4 a.m. because we got to leave here actually pretty soon in the next few minutes or so. So we got to make those quick, but before, all the things happened, I got up really early so I could record this episode for me. This is part of me pursuing my dreams. It's about me prioritizing it. Yet, is it difficult to figure out how to make that happen? It is. With all the things I'm trying to juggle, but it's a priority to me because I see it as part of me being a good wife and a good mom because I want to model what it looks like to pursue my dreams to my son. And I know that when I pursue my dreams and I have my own things I'm excited about, and I ask for that time, my husband, or I try to find care to help take care of my son so I can work on those things. Again, it takes intentional effort. It can be harder maybe for me than it is for someone else. Like, 'cause sometimes we have that story in our mind. It's like, well, it's easy for this person, but it's not for me. It's like, okay, that's not going to serve you. Having those thoughts, like you got to figure out what you got to do to move forward. You got to be intentional. Yes, you might have to do some difficult things, move some things around, get up a little bit earlier, pay a little more for something. You got to get creative like we do. We got to be resourceful. But I see it as I want my son to see that. I want my son to see that I'm prioritizing my goals and my dreams too, because I want him to in his life too. Because why? He'll show up better if he does. Because I know for myself, if I'm not working on my own things, if not pursuing my own things, I don't show up as well. I start to become resentful inside. So that's a part of this definition of being a good wife, being a good mom. And it also comes back to what's the example I'm setting. I want to be the person that's setting an example that, again, I've talked about this a lot, that you can love your work. Like that is the norm. Some people have the norm in their mind that's been programmed from their family that, oh, you just collect a paycheck. You don't have to love it. You just check the box, you get by. Well, I want to write a different story. I want my son to believe something different. I also want him to believe, because I'm shaping in his mind what is normal, what his standards are. Like I want him to feel like it's normal that mom and dad get along really well. They have a lot of fun. They laugh together. It's normal that there's an environment of peace and order in our home, of joy, and we prioritize joy. We always have adventures. That is normal. He's going to grow up as the kid who always, or as the adult who always has an adventure plan, because that's all he knows. That's all that kid knows. All he knows is to be active galore because we hike and we move around a lot. I am training his brain. I am programming him. That's a part of my role as being a good wife and a good mom. I really see it that way. And I'm also the person that's it's in my partnership with my husband. I think that's part of his role too, is like, again, helping, like we're looking at us as a team. How can I raise the energy of our team? What do we got to do? If someone is feeling down in the team, why is that? And what can I do to help? Every week we ask each other that question. What can I do to better support you? In this upcoming week, we have these questions, these 3 questions that we ask. I call it CVS, like the pharmacy. It's like we ask, what are we celebrating from the past week? What vision, the V stands for, what are we doing to move our vision forward? And how can I support you? The S is, how can I support you as we move forward? And that's us being intentional in our marriage. That's me being a good wife. I also feel like part of that is like discussing our plans for the week and where do we need to help each other? Where does Ian need to show up and maybe pick up Zion? Or where does, he need to do something for Zion because I have something else going on? Like I discuss the plans. So, my email just clicked in. Sorry about that. I don't know if you guys heard that, but it's kind of scared me a little bit. I jumped back. Okay, back to the point. So it's good to discuss those plans so you're not operating in chaos because it's all about your energy. It comes back to that. What do you need to do for your own energy? So we have like a board that has our meals for the week. I write down like, oh, remember on this day we have our mentorship call. Remember on this day we have this meeting, or this week we're giving the gift card to so and so for whatever. Like we're discussing our plans. So it's not chaotic. The old me, we used to like, just be like, oh my gosh, we got to do this. Like that affects your energy. That doesn't cause you to be a good mom, to be a good wife. So it's being intentional about your systems in your home, communication around things, and being an example of what it looks like to show up with really good energy, being an example of what it looks like to care for yourself, because you'd want that for your kids. You'd want them to care for themselves. You'd want them to have good energy. You'd want them to do work they love. You'd want them to be in a happy, healthy marriage. So you are modeling that. It's really something to think about. And real quick before I go, because I got to go to Mexico here in just a bit, I wanted to tell you about how last time I was traveling, I was flying to Mallorca in Spain, and we travel so much. Zion is on his 29th, 30th flight, something like that. I'm tracking them all because I just think it's fun. But anyways, I was on the plane and I was watching a movie, and I'm the person like on the plane that will like ugly cry, like watching these movies. And I gotta like paint the scene a little bit. Like Zion, it's so hard with like a kid, like to have free hands on the plane now that he doesn't have his own seat. So he's like between me and my husband, they're passed out, mouth open wide. And I'm like, my hands are all twisted, like trying to hold stuff. And I'm like crying, right, watching this show. And the movie, it was, what was that movie? I'm like forgetting what it's called. I forget what it's called. Something about time. But anyways, in the show, the girl, she ends up getting cervical cancer, the mom. And she also has a dream to be like this award-winning chef. And her and her husband at some point get in an argument because she was spending so much time trying to prepare for this chef thing. She didn't tell her husband because she was going through chemo and he wouldn't have wanted like this extra stress on her. But she just felt in her heart that she wanted to pursue this. And then she forgot to pick up her daughter. Like, it was one of those days where he's like, you got to pick her up today. And he then got upset at her. And she was like crying. She felt so bad, but she had this dream in her heart she wanted to continue to pursue. And she like blew up on him about it. Finally, because she said, I don't want to be just her mom. And she cried, and it got me really emotional. And it wasn't because she didn't love her daughter. It wasn't that. It was because she's like, I have this other dream on my heart too that I want to pursue. And like, if I'm going to pass, I want to know that I pursued that dream and I was her mom and I was a good mom. I want all of it. And it got me really emotional, guys. Like, even just saying it, because I was like, I want that too. I want to be a good wife. I want to be a good mom, and I want to pursue my dreams. And it can be challenging to do so, but you got to be intentional about it. We just got to be resourceful, and we are resourceful the way that we are as moms. We can get a lot of crap done. And I just think about how can we be resourceful in a way that really just helps us be who we want to be. There's always opportunities for you to be doing the things that you really want to do, to show up in the ways that you really want to show up. So I want you to start really thinking about that. What's your definition of being a good wife, being a good mom, and what's needed for you to pursue your dreams? How can you be the best example to your kid? Do you need to talk to someone about, like, maybe in your career, it's not like the example that you'd want to set for your children. Like, you feel like it affects your energy and you don't show up as the best mom and the best wife at the end of the day because of all the freaking things. What do you got to do to take care of that area of your life? so you can be the good wife and the good mom? What's needed there? Do you need to talk to someone about it? Do you need to get clarity on that vision? Like, do you need to shift some things around in your career? Do you need to advocate for yourself? Do you need to negotiate in a certain way? What needs to happen there? And the same thing around your marriage. If that's a part where you feel like some work needs to be done there, then the conversations may need to happen. Maybe someone needs to pitch in a little more than they have been pitching in. Or maybe so that you can start doing the work on your dreams. So you have the time for that. You might need to arrange some things around. What needs to happen in your environment? What do you need to bring in so that you guys all feel better? Is it order? Is it declutter? Do you need to open the blinds more? Do you need to get some fresh air in more? Get some new scents in? Like, thinking about all of these things. All right. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Again, I am still looking for people to interview. I'm not selling anything, but looking for people to interview who are not feeling fulfilled in their careers, who feel like they were meant for more, but there's something going on where you're like, oh, you're scared. There's fear showing up around it. Or you don't know what to do next. If that is you and you want to be part of this process, so many of you have reached out. I've been loving it. It's been so much fun to connect with you. Shout out to Claire, to Brittany, to Jen, lots of Jens, actually. So many other people. I'll shout out some more names that have been part of this process or that I'll be talking to soon. But I would love it if that's you, if you want to connect with me and you want to swap insights so I can help design this next program around transitioning your career and doing work that you really love and being the kind of wife or mom that you want to be. I want to include those things. If you feel like you could provide some insight that could help me design this well, please reach out. Go ahead and shoot me an email and you'll get my updated calendar. What I'll do, just say, hey, Ange, I want to be a part of this. I will just send you the most recent calendar link and you can pick a time, 45 minutes that we can chat. And I will share any insights that I have to help you with your current career situation. All right. I hope you have an amazing day and I will talk to you soon.